Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Boxville for the PS4. It was released in 2023 and it's a point-and-click puzzle developed by Trimatic Games and published by Ohio SRO. And there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So I picked this game up on a sale a while ago and forgot about it, like I usually do. And it looks a bit, it does look a bit like Mechanarium, so that's a plus. So as you start up the game, you're inside a cardboard box and you're a blue soda can and you have a dog that's, I guess it's like a tuna can. And this is a point-and-click puzzlers, as I said before, and all the characters you interact with in this game are some form of can. So not for long, the box house shakes and things fall apart. So the dog gets scared and hides under the table, and you pick up a broom, and you also pick up a rag in a closet. And just like Mechanarium, the main character stores things inside of himself. So you combine the broom and the rag to make a makeshift mop and mop up some water that's been spilled. So you can leave the house, but you can't go very far without your dog. So once you get it outside, there is like a box village or a town. So you pick up a ball, and this is used to lure the dog outside. So once you lure the dog outside, there's some shaking, and you and the dog falls down a store, and the dog goes after the ball just to disappear. So on this screen that you're on now, you can go left, and you will find a puzzle where it's tied to it's like a sun watch, if that makes sense. So there's a couple of positions on a note which has 5, 620, or it basically tells numbers. And if you move one screen more to the left, you will find a greenhouse with a can trying to cultivate some greenery, and you need to turn on the water. So this is just starting like the puzzle trend. You need to fix things for people to progress and find your dog. So the left stick moves the cursor around, and X and circle interact with things, and the option menu pauses. So once you pause the game, you get into this menu, which doesn't have text or anything. It just have hand-drawn like icons. It's kind of hard to explain, but the icons kind of explain what they do. There's like a diskette that more or less is saving, and there's some options and whatnot. And there was one little bug that I ran into while in the options menu. Sometimes the game doesn't register saved, so I have to start over from a certain point, but it wasn't that punishing. Sometimes that happens, I guess, corrupt save files. So if a thing is interactable by moving the cursor over it, it will kind of, I was going to say vibrate, but that's wrong, but it kind of moves up and down a bit. It's a subtle little hint on what you can interact with, basically. And another important thing, if you interact with the other can characters that you will find throughout the game, you get a little comic strip on them describing what they want you to do for them, like getting them a broom or fixing something for them. So what you need to do to progress is you need to open a padlock which has a color code related to some flowers on a shelf, and then you need to get some scissors. You need to help an old man can get home by attaching him to like a plant and pushing it off a ledge to send him flying back home. And I like these kind of puzzles because they're not obvious from the start. You also need to lure out the gardener to the window by doing like throwing petals at the window in order to grab or cut some dry grass off his plant bed, and combining that to make a broom for this other can that's outside, and he will swoop out a pen, and the pen will be used for the sun clock puzzle because it casts a shadow. So on the screen to the right there is a safe, and inside that safe it's like an alarm watch, and you need to set that to the time you get from the sun watch on the other screen. While setting it correctly, the safe and everything will vibrate, and it will balance out like a ladder, and that will reveal a locked door. So in this locked room you will find a pipe puzzle, and you get a key from a guy that was fishing in a bigger can to the right. So you solve this pipe puzzle, you just put pipes in the right place to make the water flow, and once it's done you will be able to get like a little clipper or clam that you can use to clamp a hose so the water won't spray anywhere, or everywhere I should say, so the gardener can water his plant bed. And you will also find one of those things you have for fishing. I believe it's like a thing that makes the bait float, if that makes sense. And you will give that to the fisherman, and he will lower you down to the next level. And on the next level you will solve some electronic puzzles involving a lot of cables and getting the right connection in a fuse box and so on. So there are a lot of puzzles in this game, and I didn't have a lot of time this week to play, but I feel like it's like an excuse. Every time I play a game, I don't have time for some reason, but I don't know. I don't feel bad about completing a game. Games are like a nice escape from reality, and if I'm happy playing a game and, not finish it, that's just fine to me. So gameplay. Go through the Boxville world and solve the puzzles and find your dog in the end. Control, the X and circle button interacts with things, the left stick smooths the pointer around, and start pauses and brings up the menu. Graphics. This game was made in the Unity engine, and it reminds me a lot of Mechanarium. It's not that polished, and that's kind of sad because some screens, don't get me wrong, they have a lot of detail, like the greenhouse, but I just wish that the rest of the game was like the greenhouse, because there's a lot of detail and stuff that you always discover something that you didn't notice before. Sound and music. Seri Soroka and the sound designer made the soundtrack for this game, and I can't remember a single track on top of my head, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. So I couldn't find any glitches or secrets, but sometimes that's just the case. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, try it if you feel like you want to play a short puzzle game. So the game looks unique and has a lot of things going for it. However, it didn't feel that challenging, the puzzles I mean, and some of the solutions were just too simple. However, I don't feel that cheated because the game was actually really cheap. So if you want a cheap puzzle game that you can play in like a short amount of time, this is it. So yeah, anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.